فموضوع جلستنا اليوم كما شفت في الإعلان مع الدكتور عيسى الشبيبي، وموضوع عن ريادة الأعمال طريقك إلى المستقبل. إن شاء الله نتعرف من خلال هذا الموضوع على بعض التعريفات المهمة في ريادة الأعمال، على بعض خصائص رائد الأعمال، ومواضيع مهمة متعلقة بريادة الأعمال. وفي نهاية حديثي سوف يتطرق على البحث العلمي الذي أقراه في ريادة الأعمال، وإن شاء الله يكون موضوع شيق وممتع ومفيد للجميع. قبل أن نبدأ دكتور، أحب أنوه للجميع إنه يعمل ميوت اللي هو كتم الصوت، بسبب أن عدم كتم الصوت يعمل صدأ كثير للمتحدث وللآخرين. فالرجاء كل الرجاء أن الجميع يعمل ميوت أثناء الحديث. وهذا أما بالنسبة لي إذا في أي سؤال أو استفسار أو شيء، يمكن تستخدم خاصية رفع الأيدي، رفع اليد يعني اللي هي raise your hand، أو إنك تعمل يعني في الديسكشن في الشات سؤال أو تطرح في أي موضوع يعني ممكن تناقشه. ونفضل أن يكون نقاشات في كما خبرتكم بعد نهاية العرض، على أساس نسهل عملية إدارة الجلسة إن شاء الله تعالى. وفي أسمع صدى، فممكن الجميع يعمل ميوت مباشرة بعد ما يدخل الجلسة. أيوة، فإن شاء الله تكون جلسة ممتعة وشيقة. تفضل دكتور، ممكن نبدأ الآن. الحين تقريبا وصل الوقت 9 تقريبا. تفضل دكتور.
طيب، شكرا أستاذة موزة. شكرا للجميع على الحضور. البرزنتيشن راح يكون باللغة الإنجليزية، يعني يمكن هذا شوية قررنا أن يكون اللغة الإنجليزية. يعني الجلستين الأولى كان عربي، فقلنا زين نوع من التغيير نعمله إنجليزي. وأيضا بالنسبة لي يعني أسهل، كون أنه كثير من المصطلحات بتحتاج وقت إلى ترجمتها. فأيضا use it or lose it، يعني نحن الحين أصبحت لغة العلم، شئنا أبينا ذلك، ف kind of practice for everyone. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Our presentation today is Entrepreneurship, a pathway to future. For the next hour or half an hour, let us imagine that we are now taking a trip in this nice red car, the car of future, Tesla, and this is our pathway to learn about entrepreneurship. Some basic things, I'm sure that you have heard about it, maybe you read about it, but here we just exchange and have some short snapshot about entrepreneurship, as it is a broad field that 1 or 2 or even 5 hours cannot cover everything. Let us take our journey in this nice car, and we will have a few stops in this journey. We will learn about what is entrepreneurship, what is the relationship between entrepreneurship and innovation. Are you a potential entrepreneur? Maybe you learn that maybe you are an entrepreneur and you didn't know that before. But how to generate new ideas. And we will have some successful stories of famous entrepreneurs. And at the end, we will explain why Oman needs entrepreneurship. What is an entrepreneur? Simply, he or she is a person who accepts the risks and opportunities entailed in creating and operating a new business venture. And another research says that entrepreneurs are action-oriented, highly motivated individuals who take risks to achieve goals. So most definitions in the research or in the previous studies put risk-taking in there. So it is a critical factor for entrepreneurship or entrepreneur to have the risk factor there. For the first definition, it limits to creating business venture. But for the second definition, it goes beyond business, and entrepreneurs, according to the second definition, can be everywhere and for everyone. even us as an employees, we can have kind of entrepreneurial mindset. You can be an entrepreneurial while you are doing your everyday work. And for the society, there is a type of social entrepreneurship. There is civic entrepreneurship. There is corporate entrepreneurship. There are many types, but we are trying to focus on the basic definition of entrepreneur, which is business oriented. So this is the simple definition of entrepreneur. But what is the difference between entrepreneurship and SMEs? Some people confused between the two terms. They think that entrepreneurship is just creating a business, which is true to some extent, but entrepreneurs, as you can see in the left circle, have the innovative component. Entrepreneurs are innovative people, where this is missing in the small business owners or the businessmen or women. Usually they just start a business, traditional business, starting a restaurant um, with existing characteristics, a normal restaurant or a shop or whatever. But for entrepreneurs, this is not the case. They need to engage innovation in their business. They need to drive to change products. They need to to make some kind of creativity to produce something novel or new, or maybe the way they deliver it to the customers is innovative. So the entrepreneurs are innovative mindset, but also their business is expandable. They are open for growing their companies to new heights, whereas this is missing in the traditional business owners. But both, they do have businesses. They do look for profits, and they have the effective business modeling. So maybe the key difference between both is the innovative component in the entrepreneurs. But also, what is the relationship between innovation and entrepreneurship? Look at this diagram. As you can see, the process of creating a business starts with opportunity, perhaps solving a problem or filling a gap, or perhaps you notice there is a changing in the environment or in the society, or there is a new need comes up. So first of all, you identify this opportunity, and then you start to generate idea of solving that problem or filling that gap. Perhaps finding an alternative process, or maybe both. Maybe you find a new way, but also you have an alternative process to solve that problem. So you create an invention, whether that is a product or a service, a process, or combination of both, to solve that problem. And then you start with the commercialization process, where you start to figure out the resource acquisition and converting that invention into profit or profitable venture. And you start with creating the line, the commercial line, the branding process, and all these details. So this is the simple process of entrepreneurship, but the component, the creativity and innovation is in every step of these stages. Started with the opportunity. You are creative and you are innovative in looking at the problem, and you are also putting the innovation in your mind while you are finding a solution for that problem. So the innovation is associated in every step of the entrepreneurship. But what is the difference between both creativity and innovation? Creativity basically is the initial step of innovation. It is the thinking process, the cognitive process of finding a solution. So that brainstorming in your mind is the creativity process. And when it comes to action and execution of that idea, it is now you are entering the innovation stage. You are implementing what you have thought is a good idea in the creativity process, and you're putting all these ideas into action. So now you are um, innovating that ideas. But have you thought about this, or have you asked yourself, which one are you? Are you the employee, or are you an entrepreneur? Are you the sad guy at the bottom of the hole there, giving up and not thinking of any solutions? Or are you the entrepreneur who is working hard to find a way out of that hole? Maybe putting some sands at the bottom or using a piece of rock to climb out that hole. Um, so, if you are an innovative person, is keen for knowledge and can work in a team, have some leadership skills, and most importantly, are a risk taker, then you might be a potential future entrepreneur. But the big question, can you generate ideas and turn them into businesses? Three ways to do so. You either do it for fun or to fulfill a need, or perhaps you observe a change in the society or in environment and you take the opportunity to create a business out of that change. Stephen Jobs liked to play with computers. He did it for fun, but then he turned his fun into a company. Apple now is the biggest company in computers. Can you do the same? Can you make a business from your fun? Can you create, for example, Oman Monopoly similar to Sydney edition? What do you like? What kind of games do you like? What kind of hobbies? Can you turn what you like or what you do for fun into a business? But also some people do it to fulfill a needs. Dan Bricklin was a student and he needs some quick calculations for his assignment. So he invented the Excel sheet, this great software which serves the community and the companies. So he fulfilled a need, but he also provides a great invention for mankind. Can you do the same? What do you need? What needs around you need to fulfill? Perhaps you want to rent a car to use this weekend, but they are too expensive. So you create a way to rent cars from other students or friends. Perhaps inventing an app to do that, like Upper or Airbnb. So now you are fulfilling your needs, but also you are providing a service and achieve service for the audience. But also maybe you observe a change in the society. Um, Maybe this entrepreneur created Curves Fitness for women. She noticed that women would like to go to gyms and fitness centers, but um, they don't want to mix with men. So she established a fitness center for women only. So she took the opportunity on that change or on that need in the society. Can you do the same? We have good airports, but maybe we have some expensive airfares. People cannot travel. Maybe you can come up with a great idea to provide cheap tickets or find a way for people to travel and use our good airports in Oman. What changes do you see and that you can take advantage of? Successful entrepreneurs usually notice the change, or they notice the needs in the society, or maybe they do it for fun. Can you take advantage of the fourth industrial revolution? There is a lot going on nowadays. There is big data, cloud computing, autonomous robots, Internet of Things. These are all new fields in our society. Will you take the opportunity perhaps to start up a business in one of these fields? This is at the personal level, but what about countries? Why do they need entrepreneurship? Have you thought about this? There are many economic and social impacts for countries when they promote entrepreneurship. There is a wealth creation and sharing, creating jobs, regional development, GDP increase in per capita, standard of living, increasing the exports, community development, and the list goes on. Maybe we'll take 3 or 4 hours to explain the benefits of entrepreneurship at the national level, but this is only a snapshot of those impacts. Look at these countries. These countries use entrepreneurship long time ago, and now they are gaining the fruits of it. Entrepreneurship is a major contribution in their national income. United States, Chile, look at the countries in green. United States, Chile, Botswana, Israel, Australia, and Switzerland. Hopefully we'll see Oman in 10 years with the green color, that using entrepreneurship to diversify our rental state economy. But what are obstacles in Oman? Infrastructure, funds, culture, society, education. Overall, an entrepreneurial ecosystem is missing in Oman, unfortunately. But what is ecosystem? What do we mean by entrepreneurial ecosystem? Look at this diagram. It is a bit scary for you to see, but all these elements are determinants for building an effective entrepreneurial ecosystem. It is scary. Look at the yellow boxes. There are many. There is a lot of work to do. But look at the results. To your right, look at the impact, job creation, economic growth, poverty reduction, employment. These are great results. Yes, there is a lot of work to do, but look at the results. It is worth it. We need rules and regulations. We need R&D and technology. We need entrepreneurial capacities. We need culture, finance, market conditions. In my research, I examined entrepreneurship ecosystem, and I focused in my PhD thesis in the entrepreneurial education initiative implemented by Ministry of Higher Education as one recommendation of Sheikh Al-Shamikhat Symposium in 2011. It is a great initiative, and this course is mandatory for all colleges and universities in Oman. Unfortunately, not all colleges are offering it till now. But even those which offer it, still there are some shortcomings, and I provide some recommendations in my research for those policymakers and colleges managers to perhaps benefit from it. One of my results, look at this pyramid. This course could create understandings and awareness. So the EEP, which is the course abbreviation, is high in creating understandings and awareness. The course for most students can promote knowledge. Now they know what do we mean by entrepreneurship, what are the rules and regulations. Some basic knowledge are there, which is good news. And this basic knowledge could create sort of positive attitudes. So when we ask students, what do you think of entrepreneurship? They said it is a good thing. It is a great thing. So they do have some positive attitudes there. They have a positive image about it. And some of them developed some skills from that course. But the critical outcome is changing intention is not there. The course or this initiative still cannot change the intentions of students. So when you ask them, are you willing to start a business after you graduate? Most of them will say no, not only because of the course delivery, but there are other major factors. The ecosystem is still missing. It's not about just introducing a curriculum in higher education. It is a whole entrepreneurial ecosystem we need to consider. So I came up with this diagram, and I look at the circles in the middle, please, the area. We started the big circle, the political economy context. As Oman is a rential state means Oman relied on oil and gas for their major income. Um, so there are some characteristics of this rential state character, which I studied very closely. And I found that most of the rential states countries have kind of top-down nature, that the instructions, the policies come from the top, from top policymakers into the um, micro actors, the stakeholders. And this top-down nature is not effective in most policy formation. So we need to enhance more bottom-up activities. And Alhamdulillah, with the Vision 2040, they adopted sort of bottom-up. This is a good start. That Oman Vision 2040, the public participated in informing the elements of this vision. The team visited most parts of Oman. They met with people, with policymakers in every part, and they took their insights, their opinions. So this is what I'm talking about. The bottom up is more effective in forming policies, visions, economic visions, and so on. And this is changing, and also hopefully we'll have an entrepreneurship strategy that involves the public participation. The second circle, cultural factors, which is very important as well. In Oman, there is sort of what is called rential mentality created through the 50 years ago, the last 50 years, that the students study at the college, graduate, and look for a job. This momentum created kind of a mentality or a culture that there is no other way to find a personal income. You must find a job, whether that is in the public sector or in the private sector. So we need to break that culture. We need to tell our students, hey, there is another way. You can start your own business. You can be your own boss. You can perhaps earn more money from your business. You can become an entrepreneur. And there's the social factors there. Still, also the society is not supportive for entrepreneurship, not supportive for entrepreneurs. I remember of my students say that of one of my students, whom I interviewed, said that maybe I couldn't get married because I don't have a real job. When I asked him what do you mean by a real job, he said in government job or a company. If I have a business, maybe the family whom I proposed with will be a bit hesitant because I don't have a stable income, uh, which shows that there is a social factor hindrance for entrepreneurship. If we have this view, many students will be a bit hesitant to pursue entrepreneurial activities post graduation. And the most important is look at the circle, the small circle there, education and skill formation strategies. We do have an entrepreneurship education course, but still there is a lot to do. This course also provides some basics, some knowledge, some positive attitudes, but it does not develop many entrepreneurial skills. Most importantly, it does not shift the intention. So we need some kind of complementary activities outside our universities. For example, we need internships like in Singapore. We need more incubators. We need perhaps entrepreneurship centers to develop skills. Um, I suggested also that we could have another elective course in addition to the compulsory course for those students who develop sort of interest for entrepreneurship. They could take another elective course, or maybe if the university has a center that or an incubator, those students who have some spark of interest, they can pursue or continue their learning through that incubator or through that centers, or perhaps through taking an elective course. So one course is not enough. It gives some basics, but we need more to do. So all these areas, if we cover them, work on them, we will create kind of entrepreneurial ecosystem that will develop human capital who embrace entrepreneurship activities, and this will help to diversify our our retail estate economy. Um, so I just want to close by saying that Oman Vision 2040 puts entrepreneurship a top priority. Will you become an entrepreneur, or you don't need to become an entrepreneur to contribute in this vision, but maybe you can support an entrepreneur. Maybe you can help to develop a policy that enhance entrepreneurial activities. Perhaps in your job as in the public sector, maybe you can have kind of entrepreneurial mindset to develop and to increase your productivity in your position. Thank you very much for listening, and I welcome any questions.